Commander Emily Blackwood stared at the holographic display, her eyes narrowing at the anomalous reading that pulsed like a dying star. The quantum scanner had picked up something inside the stellar horizon's own systems, something that by all laws of physics and reality shouldn't exist. "Run the diagnostic again, HFY," she commanded the ship's AI, her voice steady despite the growing unease in her gut. 20 years of space exploration had taught her one thing. When something impossible appears, pay attention. The AI's crystalline voice resonated through the bridge. "Diagnostic complete, Commander. The quantum signal originates from within our primary data core. Analysis suggests it's been there since the ship's construction, dormant until now." Emily's hand unconsciously touched the captain's insignia on her collar. The stellar horizon was humanity's pride. The first true faster-than-light vessel, built with technology that had taken 3 generations to perfect. The idea that something unknown had been hiding in its heart all along sent a chill down her spine. "Show me the signal pattern," she ordered, and the holographic display shifted. What she saw made her blood run cold. The signal wasn't random. It displayed a level of organization that suggested intelligence, ancient, calculating, and utterly alien. Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez burst onto the bridge, his dark eyes wide with excitement. "Commander, you need to see this. The signal, it's responding to our scans, but not in any way we've seen before. It's rewriting itself to match our language patterns." Emily leaned forward, watching as alien symbols transformed into something recognizable. The message was clear, yet its implications were staggering. To the children of Earth, the wanderers, the unwanted variables, this warning comes from those you would call gods. "Get me Dr. Harrison from Xenolinguistics," Emily ordered, her mind racing, "and tell engineering to prepare for a full core shutdown, if necessary." But before anyone could move, the message continued to unfold, its words appearing like ripples in a cosmic pond. "Your kind was never meant to reach the stars. Your evolution was an oversight, a mistake we failed to correct. And now you have become what we feared most, the ultimate pursuit predator, armed with intelligence that knows no bounds." The bridge fell silent. Emily could hear her own heartbeat, steady and strong, a reminder of the very evolution the message spoke of. Humanity had always wondered why they hadn't found other advanced civilizations. Now it seemed they were about to learn why. "HFY, begin recording everything, and get me a secure channel to Earth Command. Priority Alpha." Emily's voice cut through the silence. "I want every byte of this message analyzed, every pattern studied. If these gods left us a warning, I want to know exactly what they're afraid of." As the crew scrambled to their stations, the message pulsed one final time. "The archives will show you the truth. Seek the dying star that bears our mark. But know this, with each step you take into the cosmos, you prove us right. You never stop. You never accept limits. And that, children of Earth, is why the galaxy trembles at your approach." Emily stood before the holographic display, her mind already calculating trajectories to the nearest dying stars. Whatever these ancient beings were, whatever they feared about humanity, she would find out. Because that's what humans did. They pursued truth with the same relentless determination their ancestors used to chase down prey. The hunt was on. And this time, the prize was nothing less than the truth about humanity's place in the cosmos. The stellar horizon emerged from its FTL jump with a flash of quantum displacement, its hull gleaming against the backdrop of a massive red giant star. Commander Emily Blackwood watched as the dying star's corona writhed like a living thing, its surface marked with peculiar geometric patterns that defied natural formation. "Gravitational anomaly detected," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. "There's something inside the star's chromosphere, something that's holding back the stellar matter. Emily leaned forward, her eyes fixed on the impossible sight before them. "Show me the scan results." The display shifted, revealing a massive structure suspended within the star's outer layers. It wasn't just surviving the intense heat and radiation. It was using them as a power source. "That's the archive," she breathed, recognition flooding through her. The patterns matched those from the quantum message perfectly. "AI, begin recording everything." "This is what they wanted us to find." The ship's AI responded with characteristic precision. "Commander, I'm detecting energy signatures consistent with artificial gravity wells and time dilation fields. The structure appears to be inviting us in." A path through the star's corona began to clear, formed by invisible forces that pushed back the plasma and radiation. It was like watching Moses part the Red Sea, except this time it was a road through a star. "Engineering reports all systems nominal," Rodriguez added. "The shield modifications are holding." Emily took a deep breath. They had spent 2 weeks preparing for this moment, reinforcing the ship's quantum shields based on the partial data they'd decoded. Now it was time to see if their calculations were correct. "Take us in, Helm." Nice and easy. The stellar horizon glided forward, its enhanced shields glowing as they deflected the star's fury. Through the cleared path they went, until the massive archive structure filled their view. A crystalline complex that seemed to be grown rather than built. As they approached, the archive's surface rippled, and an opening appeared. Inside was a docking station that could have been designed specifically for their ship. "They knew," Emily murmured. "They knew exactly what we'd build, how we'd get here." Once docked, the command crew assembled in the main airlock. Emily checked her environment suit one last time, though the archive's atmosphere had already matched their ship's perfectly. "First team with me," she ordered. "Keep your weapons powered down, but ready. We're guests here, but let's not be naive guests." The archive's interior was a maze of crystalline corridors that lit up as they passed, leading them deeper into its heart. But it was what they found in the central chamber that made them stop in their tracks. Massive holographic displays sprang to life, showing scene after scene of ancient Earth. They watched, transfixed, as their early ancestors pursued prey across sun-baked savannas. The humans weren't faster or stronger. They simply kept going, hour after hour, until their prey collapsed from exhaustion. "This is why they fear us," Dr. Harrison whispered, his voice filled with awe. "Look at the timestamp on these records. They've been watching us since before we made our first tools." More displays activated, showing other species from across the galaxy. Each one had a different evolutionary path: ambush predators, herd prey, scavengers. But none showed the terrifying combination of endurance and problem-solving that humans had developed. "Commander," Aria's voice came through their comms. "I'm detecting a data stream attempting to interface with our systems. It appears to be the complete records of their observations. Thousands of years of watching humanity evolve." Emily stared at the images of her ancient ancestors, tireless hunters under the African sun. "Download everything, Aria. It's time we learned exactly what makes humanity so special and so terrifying to beings who call themselves gods." The archive hummed around them, its crystal walls pulsing with stored knowledge, as humanity began to uncover the truth about their own nature, a truth that would change their understanding of their place in the cosmos forever. 3 weeks after the archive discovery, Commander Emily Blackwood stood in the stellar horizon's observation deck, watching the holographic representations of 100 different species float before her. Each one showed clear signs of genetic manipulation, subtle changes that had steered their evolution like a river being slowly redirected. "Play the Centauri sequence again, AI," she commanded, her voice tight with controlled anger. The AI complied, and the image of a humanoid species appeared. their timeline spanning thousands of years. Observe the neural pattern modifications at year 3200 of their development, Araya noted. The elder gods introduced a protein that limited their desire to explore beyond their home system. The species went from building generation ships to focusing solely on their planet's infrastructure within a single generation. Lieutenant Rodriguez entered the deck, carrying a fresh data pad. "Commander, you need to see this. We've decoded another section of the Archives database. It's about Earth, about what they tried to do to us." The holographic display shifted, showing their solar system as it had been millions of years ago. A massive energy signature, nearly invisible even to the advanced sensors that had recorded it, approached Earth with clear purpose. "They came to change us," Emily said, her fingers tracing the energy pattern, "just like all the others." "But they failed," Rodriguez added, his voice filled with wonder. "The combination of Earth's magnetic field and our Sun's unique radiation spectrum created a natural defense we never knew we had. Their genetic modificators couldn't penetrate it." Emily watched as the recording showed the elder god's energy signature retreating, frustrated by this unexpected resistance. "They must have thought we'd destroy ourselves eventually. That without their guidance, we'd never achieve space travel." "Commander," Arai interrupted, "I've completed the analysis of the other modified species. Every single one was changed to remove a specific trait, the drive to push beyond known limits. The elder gods created a galaxy of satisfied species, content with what they had." The observation deck's doors slid open again as Dr. Harrison rushed in, his usually calm demeanor shattered by excitement. "You won't believe what we found in the deep archive files. They didn't just try once with Earth. They made multiple attempts, each time with a different approach. But our solar system's natural defenses evolved with us, almost as if something was protecting us," Emily finished, her mind racing with the implications, "or preparing us." The holographic display updated, showing Earth's timeline alongside those of the modified species. Where other races showed clear points of genetic alteration, humanity's line remained pure, unbroken, and accelerating in its development. "Look at this pattern," Rodriguez said, highlighting a section of data. "Every time they failed to modify us, we made a major technological leap forward. It's like their attempts to hold us back only made us stronger." Emily stood silent for a long moment, processing the weight of what they'd discovered. Humanity hadn't just escaped modification. They had grown stronger because of the attempts to change them. Each failure by the elder gods had somehow contributed to human development, creating a species that was everything these self-proclaimed deities feared. "Arai, send a priority message to Earth Command," she finally ordered. Tell them we now know why we're different, why we never stop pushing forward. It's not just our evolution as pursuit predators. It's that we're the only species that grew up without having our wings clipped." As the message was sent, new data continued to pour in from the archive's depths. Each file revealed more about the elder gods' systematic program of species modification, and each one confirmed what they now knew. Humanity's greatest strength was that they had developed exactly as nature intended, free from the chains that bound the rest of the galaxy's species. The truth was both liberating and terrifying. They were what they were meant to be. And that was exactly what the elder gods had feared all along. The news spread across Earth and its colonies like wildfire. Commander Emily Blackwood watched the global reactions play out on the Stellar Horizon's main screen as humanity grappled with the truth about their place in the cosmos. 30 different research institutes have already begun studying the archive data, Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, scrolling through the incoming messages. "They're calling it the Great Awakening." Emily nodded, her eyes fixed on a particular feed from the Mars colony. A group of children were running an endurance race across the red planet's surface, their young faces set with determination that would have made their ancient ancestors proud. "Look at that," she said, pointing to the display. Just last year, that racecourse was considered too challenging for anyone but elite athletes. Now these kids are running it because someone said they couldn't. Dr. Harrison's voice came through the comm system. "Commander, you need to see what's happening in the engineering lab. We've been running tests on those impossible barriers the Elder Gods set up." Minutes later, Emily stood in the lab, watching as engineers systematically dismantled what they had once thought were fundamental laws of physics. The archive data had revealed that many of these laws were actually artificial constraints, placed to limit technological development. "We always wondered why some equations just didn't work," a young engineer named Maya Chen explained, her hands moving through holographic formulae. "It wasn't that we were wrong. It was that someone had placed cosmic roadblocks in our path." The holographic display showed a new type of engine design, one that shouldn't have been possible according to their previous understanding. Yet there it was, running in a perfect simulation. "Every limitation we accepted," Emily mused. "Every, you can't do that. We were told they were all just bars in a cage we couldn't see." Aria's voice joined the conversation. "Commander, I've analyzed the psychological impact reports from Earth. The population's response is unprecedented. Instead of fear or anger, there's a wave of what can only be described as collective determination." The main screen filled with images from around the solar system. In Singapore, a team had already broken 3 theoretical limits in quantum computing. The lunar base had developed a new form of matter manipulation that ignored previously accepted conservation laws. Even the small mining colony on Europa was reporting breakthroughs in energy generation that defied old physics models. "It's not just about breaking physical laws," Rodriguez said, reading through more reports. "People are pushing every boundary they can find. Artists are creating in new dimensions. Musicians are composing in frequencies we thought were meaningless. Athletes are breaking records daily." Emily walked to the lab's observation window, looking out at the stars that now seemed so much closer. "We're not just learning what we can do. We're remembering who we are. Every time our ancestors chased down prey, they weren't just hunting. They were proving that limits are meant to be broken." The ship's sensors suddenly lit up with alerts. Something was happening near the Kuiper belt. Multiple objects appearing out of nowhere, their energy signatures unlike anything they'd seen before. "Commander," Aria's voice had an edge of urgency. "The Elder God's servants have arrived. They're attempting to establish a containment perimeter around our solar system." Emily's face set into a hard smile. They had known this was coming. The archive had warned them that their awakening would draw attention, but humanity was ready. They had spent every moment since the discovery preparing, innovating, breaking through barriers that had held them back for millennia. "Send word to Earth Command," she ordered. "Tell them it's time to show the universe why the Elder Gods were right to fear us. Not because we're dangerous, but because we're free." The Stellar Horizon's new engines hummed to life, defying physics in ways that would have been impossible just months ago. Humanity's test had begun, and they were ready to show the cosmos what unbound human potential could really do. The servants of the Elder Gods emerged from their dimensional rifts like living shadows. Their ships formed from materials that seemed to absorb both light and hope. Commander Emily Blackwood stood on the bridge of the Stellar Horizon, watching as the alien fleet deployed their containment grid around the solar system. "They're using 10th dimensional quantum locks," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. "Trying to freeze our system in 8-time space bubble." Emily's expression remained calm, even as the massive alien constructs began their work. "How long until they realize?" "About now," Rodriguez grinned as alarms began blaring across the enemy fleet. The quantum locks that should have sealed Earth's solar system instead shattered like glass, their energy dispersing harmlessly into space. In the 3 months since discovering the truth about the Elder Gods, humanity had not been idle. "Send the message," Emily ordered. "Let's see how they react to meeting an unbound species." Araya's voice carried across all frequencies, translated into every known language in the galaxy. "To the servants of those who would be gods. You were modified to serve. We were born to be free. Choose wisely." The response came in the form of weapons fire, strange energy beams that should have unraveled the very fabric of reality. But the stellar horizon and its sister ships simply refused to be unmade. "Impossible." The alien commander's transmission crackled through their comms. "Your ships should be dissolving at the quantum level." "Should be," Emily replied calmly. "But humanity has a bad habit of ignoring what should be in favor of what could be. Your masters learned that the hard way. The battle that followed defied description. The servants deployed technologies that violated physics itself, while human ships responded with innovations that hadn't existed a week ago. Every time the aliens introduced a new weapon, human scientists and engineers would study it, understand it, and improve upon it within hours. "They're trying to access our neural networks," Dr. Harrison called from the science station, "attempting to impose their modified psychology on our crews." Emily watched as the alien attack washed over their ship's crews, expecting to find minds as easily molded as all the other species they'd encountered. Instead, they found the indomitable will of a species that had evolved to chase down its prey until exhaustion made victory inevitable. "Show them what we found in the archive," she commanded. "Let them see what their masters did to them." The data streamed across space, images and records of the servants' own past, their original forms before the Elder Gods had reshaped them into obedient tools. The effect was immediate and devastating. "Multiple ships are powering down," Rodriguez reported. "Their crews, they're beginning to remember who they were." Emily stood from her command chair, her voice firm but compassionate. "Your masters feared what unbound species might become. They feared us because we're what you were meant to be. Free to choose our own path, free to challenge the very laws of reality." The alien fleet hung motionless in space, their crews grappling with the truth about their own modified nature. Some ships began to retreat, while others moved closer, their commands requesting asylum. "Commander," Araya announced, "I'm detecting massive energy signatures at the edge of the system. The Elder Gods. They're waking up." Emily's eyes narrowed as she watched the first signs of true godlike power stirring in the distance. The servants had been just the beginning. A test that humanity had passed not through superior firepower, but through their innate ability to adapt, overcome, and show mercy to those who had been enslaved. "Alert all ships," she ordered, a fierce pride in her voice. "The real challenge is about to begin. Let's show these gods why free will is the greatest force in the universe." The Elder Gods manifested as vast geometric patterns of pure energy, each one large enough to dwarf Jupiter. Commander Emily Blackwood watched through the stellar horizon's quantum sensors as reality itself bent around these cosmic entities. "Multiple dimensional fractures detected," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, his voice steady despite the awesome display before them. "They're trying to isolate our solar system in a pocket universe." Emily's lips curved into a slight smile, just like the archive predicted. "Araya, initiate Protocol Prometheus." Across the solar system, hidden quantum beacons activated in perfect synchronization. Humanity had spent the past months preparing for this moment, using their newfound understanding of the universe to create defenses that even gods couldn't easily breach. "Your resistance is unprecedented." A voice that wasn't really a voice echoed through every communication channel. "No species has ever survived direct contact with our true forms." That's because you never met a species that evolved to never give up, Emily responded, her words carrying across the dimensional barrier. Every other race you modified learned to accept limits. We learned to break them. The first attack came as a wave of probability manipulation, an attempt to simply edit humanity out of the universe's timeline. But the quantum beacons held, their network creating a web of causality that even the elder gods couldn't unravel. Fascinating. The cosmic voices resonated. You've learned to anchor yourselves in reality using the very laws we created. Dr. Harrison's voice crackled over the comm from his position in the science lab. Commander, they're not just attacking our ships. They're trying to rewrite the fundamental constants of our region of space. Emily watched as the stars around them began to flicker, their very nature being rewritten by beings who viewed physics as a suggestion rather than a law. But humanity had prepared for this too. Deploy the mirror arrays, she ordered. Show them what we learned from their own archive. Thousands of satellites around every major planet activated, each one designed to reflect and amplify the very forces being used against them. The elder gods' attempts to rewrite reality were caught in an endless loop of their own power. You dare use our own knowledge against us. The elder gods' manifestation pulsed with what might have been anger or fear. We dare because that's what humans do, Emily replied. Every weapon you use, we study. Every barrier you create, we overcome. You made one crucial mistake. You gave us time to prepare. The battle escalated as the elder gods deployed more of their reality warping powers. But for every new attack, humanity had an innovation, a countermeasure born from their relentless drive to survive and adapt. Araya's voice cut through the chaos. Commander, I'm detecting a pattern in their attacks. They're not just fighting us, they're testing us. Each challenge is more complex than the last. Emily's eyes widened with realization, because they want to see if we're ready. Lieutenant, show them the project from Europa Station. The data streamed out from their ships, not weapons or defenses, but plans for a new type of universe, one where modified and unmodified species could coexist and grow together. It was humanity's response to finding out they were meant to be caged. They had designed a way to break everyone's cages. The elder gods' assault paused, their vast forms shifting as they processed this unexpected development. In the face of cosmic power trying to contain them, humanity had instead found a way to free others. We won't be contained, Emily declared, her voice carrying the weight of her species' determination. But we also won't let you continue enslaving others. The question is, are you evolved enough to consider a third option? The space between stars grew heavy with possibility as humanity stood their ground, offering both defiance and hope to beings who had forgotten what it meant to face true equals. As the elder gods' forms shimmered in the void, their vast geometries pulsing with cosmic power, something unexpected happened. One of them began to change, its pattern shifting into something more comprehensible. Commander Emily Blackwood watched in awe as the entity compressed itself into a humanoid shape, still composed of living light, but now standing on the stellar horizon's bridge through a dimensional window. You have surprised us. The being spoke, its voice now a single melody rather than a cosmic chorus. In all our eons of existence, no species has ever offered an alternative to our vision of order. Emily stood her ground, facing the manifested elder god. Perhaps that's because you never gave them the chance to evolve their own solutions. Commander, Araya interrupted, I'm detecting massive data streams coming from their manifestation. They're sharing their history with us. The bridge's holographic systems came alive with images that spanned billions of years. The elder god's own evolution, their rise to power, and the moment that had changed everything. Their discovery of the universe's heat death. We saw the end of all things, The being explained, its light dimming with what might have been sorrow. We sought to preserve life by controlling its development, ensuring no species would advance far enough to accelerate the universe's entropy. Lieutenant Rodriguez, who had been analyzing the data stream, suddenly straightened. "Commander, look at these calculations. The heat death they predicted. It's based on a limited understanding of dimensional physics." Dr. Harrison's voice joined through the comm. "He's right. Their models don't account for the new principles we've discovered. The very innovations they tried to prevent might be the key to preventing the end they feared." The Elder God's form flickered, its pattern showing signs of what could only be described as uncertainty. "Impossible. We calculated every variable, considered every possibility. Except the possibility that you were wrong," Emily said firmly. "You were so focused on control, on prevention, that you never considered that evolution itself might provide the answer." The holographic displays updated, now showing humanity's recent technological leaps. Each innovation that had emerged since their discovery of the truth had not just broken the Elder God's barriers. They had revealed new laws of physics that even these ancient beings had never considered. "Your species," the Elder God's voice held a note of wonder. "You don't just adapt to overcome obstacles. You transform the very nature of reality to find new solutions." Emily nodded, her expression both proud and determined. "That's what pursuit predators do. We don't just chase our prize. We learn, we grow, we change both ourselves and our environment until success is inevitable." You saw this as a threat, but it's actually hope. Aria's voice cut through the moment. "Commander, the other Elder Gods are responding to the data. Their patterns are evolving. Around them, the cosmic entities that had sought to contain humanity were changing, their rigid geometric forms becoming more fluid, more open to new possibilities. The truth that had been hidden in their own archive was transforming them. We have watched your kind for so long," the manifested Elder God spoke, "fearing your potential for destruction. But we never understood that your greatest strength isn't your ability to break barriers. It's your ability to find new paths where none existed before." Emily stepped forward, her hand extended toward the being of light. "Then perhaps it's time for both our species to evolve, not through control or modification, but through cooperation. You've seen what we can achieve in just months, once we're free to innovate. Imagine what we could do together in the face of a dying universe." The Elder God's form shifted once more, its light resonating with new understanding. The choice that would reshape the cosmos now lay before them all. 1 year after the first contact with the Elder Gods, Commander Emily Blackwood stood in the Great Hall of Unity on Mars, watching as humans and former servants worked side by side with manifestations of the Elder Gods themselves. The vast chamber, built using technology that bridged multiple dimensions, hummed with the energy of unlimited potential. "The latest simulations are complete," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, now wearing the insignia of the new Cosmic Development Initiative. "The cross-species teams have identified 3 more possible solutions to universal entropy." Emily smiled, remembering the days when they had thought the Elder Gods were their greatest threat, and how many of those solutions came from previously modified species. "2 of them," he replied with a grin. "Turns out when you remove artificial limitations, everyone has something unique to contribute." The hall's central platform illuminated as one of the Elder Gods, now known as the Guide, manifested in its preferred humanoid form. Around it, holographic displays showed thousands of stars where the process of liberation was already underway. "Your method of gradual awakening has proven far more successful than we could have imagined." The Guide's voice carried notes of both wonder and humility. "Species we had modified generations ago are not only recovering their original nature, but evolving beyond it." Dr. Harrison approached, accompanied by a team of scientists from 7 different species. The quantum consciousness network is ready for its first full test. We're about to link minds across 12 galaxies without losing individual identity. This had been one of humanity's first proposals, a way to share knowledge and experience while preserving the unique perspectives that made each species valuable. It was the opposite of the Elder God's original vision of controlled uniformity. "Commander," Araya announced, her voice now enhanced by integration with Elder God technology. "The first wave of universal reconstruction is complete. Entropy rates in the modified sectors have decreased by 37%. Emily walked to the platform's edge, where a window showed the surface of Mars, now a garden world thanks to the combined efforts of multiple species. "Tell me, guide, do you still fear what humanity might become?" The Elder God's form shimmered with what had become recognizable as amusement. "We fear what you already are, a species that never stops asking, 'What if?' But now we understand that such questions are exactly what the universe needs." The hall's displays updated, showing the progress of what many had started calling the Great Liberation. Across the cosmos, species were awakening to their full potential, each one contributing unique insights to the challenge of universal survival. "We found something remarkable," Rodriguez added, pulling up new data. "Each species, once freed, develops in completely unexpected ways. It's not chaos as the Elder Gods feared. It's a harmony none of us could have predicted." Emily watched as a group of children, human, former servant, and even some new species they'd encountered, played in the hall's garden section. They were using technology that could reshape reality to create art, their laughter echoing across dimensions. "Perhaps that was our true purpose," she mused. "Not to be the ultimate predator, but to be the one species stubborn enough to show that control and progress don't have to be opposites." The guide's form pulsed in agreement. "You humans have taught us that true godhood isn't about imposing order, it's about nurturing growth in all its infinite varieties." As if to emphasize the point, alarms began chiming, not of danger, but of discovery. Another team had found another solution, another path forward, another way to ensure that life not only survived but thrived. Emily looked out at the stars, now more numerous thanks to their combined efforts to push back the darkness. The Elder Gods had been right to fear humanity, but not for the reasons they had thought. They had feared humanity would destroy the careful order they had created, never imagining that chaos and order could dance together in a symphony of endless possibility. The warning from the Elder Gods had become a gift, not just to humanity, but to all life in the cosmos. And this was just the beginning. The end.